Hey, JB here. For the Franks out there who have been with us for a while, thanks for checking out Season 1. Now, you might notice some changes in format, but otherwise, it's the same show you know and love. For new listeners, thank you so much for checking us out. These episodes mark the start of something very special, and we're glad you're here. While we have rebranded to Welcome to Game Corp in Season 2, don't worry, as everything you need to know will be revealed as you go. Thanks for listening, and welcome to Game Corp.
Hey man, can you come help me real quick?
Yeah, what is it?
No, just, can you read this into the mic for me, dude?
Yeah, sure. Head to Head, a video game podcast, is for mature audiences only, and features live podcast content mixed with narrative moments. What's that last part right there mean?
Oh, it's for new listeners.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, look, Jim, just like any marketing, it's gonna cost you. It's a return on investment. You pay us now, and when the review drops, you're gonna get that money back in spades. Cost? Well, let's put it this way. Whatever score you want, just times that by 1,000, and you got your price. No, Jim, we don't rate games out of 10. We rank them out of 100. I'm being ridiculous. What's really ridiculous is oh, wait a minute, what's that name of the game? Okay, right. What's really ridiculous is learning math with Bobby the Bass. The title's too long, the graphics are shit, and the gameplay is boring. And honestly, that fish narrator is kind of full of himself. You know, Jim, I could really see this game being a 5 out of 100. And since we're the biggest game reviewer in the country, you do the math on what that'll do to your little release if you don't comply. Yeah, well, I gotta go. Got a conference on monetizing games in Dallas. Yeah, tell Grandma I said hi. Okay. Yeah, see you at the Valley reunion.
Sir, the fashion coordinator for the event wants to know if you're going to be wearing a cape or a cloak.
Cloak.
Okay. And bringing a scepter or weaponized cane.
Neither.
Noted. And your suit, blood red or midnight black?
Charcoal if it's in season. Otherwise, very black.
Very well. And for the in-flight meal, veal or baby seal?
Do they have dolphin dangerous tuna?
No, unfortunately, they don't.
That's fine. The veal.
Indeed, veal it is. And lastly, Rebecca called to see if you'd be free to kidnap her next weekend.
No. That girl's got some issues. She puts the stock in Stockholm Syndrome, you know what I mean? Yeah, send her flowers, but block her number, please.
Very good, sir.
All right, I'm leaving. I got a private jet full of exotic fruit and dancers to catch. This convention will take all day, so, Yesman, you're in charge while I'm gone. Be sure to crack the whip on anyone you catch slacking. Seriously, I keep it right here on the top drawer.
Yes, sir. I will not fail you.
Good, because if you do, you'll have to be let go.
I understand.
I wasn't finished. You'll be let go while I hold you out this window.
Yes, sir. Very good. Have a safe flight.
Unlike if you fail me, because the sun splat at the end.
Yes, sir. I get the joke. Jeez. Okay, you got this, Yesman. You are the boss today. Just go in there and be the boss. All right. Listen up, you dumb skulls. I'm in charge while the boss is away today, and I'll have none of your, shenanigans. So, no slacking off, and make those games battle, or I'll push you out a window. Nailed it.
Wait, who was that?
I do not know. What are you thinking? What I'm thinking?
Lan Paaarty?
Yeah, Lan Paaarty.
Woo!
Welcome, everybody, to the third episode of Head to Head, a video game podcast brought to you by GameCorp, the totally not evil video game media conglomerate. Upper management, in their infinite wisdom, has hand-chosen us, a couple of low-level employees with zero experience, to serve as your hosts for this head-to-head, no-holds-barred matchup between 4 games to see which one will stand triumphant. I am your host, Cowboy, joined by
Jake?
And I'm JB, aka Juicy Butt.
Woohoo!
Nice.
In today's battle, we'll be facing off 4 contenders for the title of Party Games to Hate Your Friends Too. We're talking Fall Guys versus Heave Ho versus Ultimate Chicken Horse versus Pummel Party?
That's right, Jake. Let's tell the listeners how this is going to work. We got 4 games, but we still got the same 3 trophies and the same 1 title. So one game is going to end up taking it. We're going to have a free-for-all battle royale style. Last game standing is going to take home the prize. And
3
the bacon
games will be crying in the gutter.
That's right. Speaking of crying in the gutter, I want you all to pray for our jobs, our marriages, and this podcast because Shadowlands just dropped and Azeroth needs us.
Wow.
Wow, indeed.
Oh, I see what you did there. But yeah,
Yeah.
I get it. But seriously, that's going to basically dominate all of our life. We're probably going to lose our jobs in the process. So if you could just donate to Patreon and just give us a few, just some spending money. I don't know. But anyway, since our second half is so jam-packed, let's just go ahead and fucking speed this up. Let's get to it. I'm going to get the listener questions. Wait, let me get up. Hold on. Okay. I'm just going to get the listener questions. Bam, bam, bam. Come on.
Oh.
Bam. Come on. Bam, bam.
It's not a vending machine. Oh, shit.
Incoming pod drop from floor 22.
All right, I got it. Let me open it up here. Okay, let's get started with some listener questions. This listener questions is brought to you by Frank from Accounting. You guys are seriously trying to write off Gamer Girl Bathwater as a business that's an internal and anyway. Okay. Edgar in PR asks, my dad didn't buy me a PS5 for my birthday, so I'm shopping for a new one. Which video game character do you think would be a good dad? Well, that's a thinker. I'm going to defer to one of you guys.
I don't really know what dads are like, so JB, do you want to take this?
Oh my god. Oh no.
Yeah, that's sad but true. When I think of dads, what do I think? Somebody who... It's got to be the God of War dad, right?
Well,
Oh,
okay.
that's good.
Okay, let's hear it. Give me that hot take.
Well,
Oh, I don't play PlayStation.
Oh, you're just throwing it out there. I heard about
Right?
it. I heard
the
he's
only
a dad now.
He
But he's not
teaches
wrong.
bow and arrow.
Uh-huh.
That's a thing dads do.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a strict but very paternal kind of dad. He's like, he's the dad I always wanted. No, sorry. Dad,
right.
Don't listen to this podcast, wherever you are.
Oh my god.
I'm really bumming this section out. You shouldn't have done that.
All right, here we go. Let's talk about dad talk with Cowboy.
Dad
Tell
talk.
us
What
about
about-
your worst memory.
What about Barrett from Final Fantasy VII? He would make a good dad.
Yeah.
solid dad.
I think Barrett,
He's got a gun arm.
Barrett would be a good dad. He's honest. He fights for what's right. He's a good provider.
He's got a gun arm.
He's got a gun
You know,
arm. What
that's
little
something
kid?
I always wanted out of a
Yeah,
dad.
right? What little kid would not want a dad with a gun arm?
Yeah, imagine a little kid comes up, my dad could beat up your dad. I doubt that. Right?
What about the stand-in dad from Last of Us, Joel? Is he a solid replacement dad? I thought he was a good father
I
figure
think-
through that game. That's PlayStation 2.
Yeah, that is PlayStation. I feel like, doesn't he kind of fall into the same category as Kratos, though? I mean, he's not a god, but he's still, like, gruff. He's short with his answers. He's quick to excite. Like, do you want a dad
Yeah.
who... Like, when you're
Yes.
trying to... Oh, my God.
Jesus.
Fuck. Do you want a dad who Like when you're trying to learn something, like I'm trying to learn a bow and arrow. Do you want a dad who's like, no, son, let's try it like this. Let's practice. Let's do this. Or like, if you fuck up once, he's like, no, bottomless pit. You're going to all die. Like, I don't know. That's not.
It works for Asians.
Yeah. He was a very like strict dad. I don't know if it was worth it. I mean, games kind of skew like the perception, but after a while, we don't know how that kid grew up. He's probably got like a shit ton of mascara and like just piercings and only wears like black with these weird like necklaces with upside down crosses. He's probably like a messed up kid because of his dad.
Oh, for real. On the outside,
Boy.
stay away from me, but on the inside, please notice me.
Boy is definitely an e-boy now. I bet he's got like a very emotional TikTok
Poor
because
boy.
of his dad. Poor boy.
Poor boy. I was thinking at first Mario, but Mario's never home. That fool cannot stay put. So if you had Mario for a dad, you'd have this hero figure, but you wouldn't grow up with him.
You'd live in his shadow.
You certainly would.
I bet Mario has like children he doesn't acknowledge, like somewhere, because Bowser's got kids.
Bowser does
Like,
have
all
kids. They
all have kids.
Who's their mommy?
I don't know.
Peach.
I'm a little more concerned that I'm now realizing Bowser gets laid and Mario doesn't. Like, somebody explain that to me.
Princess is always in another castle.
Well,
It's a metaphor.
I know whose castle. We solved it.
You wouldn't think you wouldn't right? Like that sets up the story, right? You know Bowser's got a side piece or 3 or 4 or 8. Usually it's 8. Like,
Yeah, he's a bad boy.
he has to be, right?
He's good at racing, great at sports, dude. That man's all over the place. Yeah. He's actually like nowadays they'd call him he's like a solid daddy. Yeah. Bowser's like not a bear. You know, he's like the big
Not a
burly
bear.
kind of daddy.
That's not a bear.
A bear's not what I'm thinking of. I don't know terms. I don't go outside and interact.
I guess he would be dad. He'd be someone that you want to shack up and make a dad for sure. He'd be a good He'd be a good stepdad, probably.
Bowser is a stepdad.
I think Bowser would be a good stepdad.
I can't believe you're making me play this out in my head. I'm picturing me getting a sweater from Bowser on Christmas.
It's got holes in it because he tried it on to see if it was your size.
Now, I may not be your birth father, as me and your mother can't actually have sex, but I want to love you like my son. I made you this sweater.
I want to point out how many illegitimate children Bowser has, which was like their way of personifying his evil. Like, look at him. He can't take care of what's he got? 10 kids?
Yeah.
Isn't he in a long-term relationship with Bowsette?
I thought he was Bowsette with the princess thing on.
He is Bowsette.
No, I did not realize that.
That's the whole thing. Yeah. The crown turns.
He is Bowsette?
The crown turns you into a Peach version of yourself.
Neat.
That's why it originally stemmed from Toadette. When when Lady I don't know her name. When Lady Toad put on the Princess Peach crown, she turned into a more princess version of herself that looked like Peach. So they ran with that. That special crown turned you into a Peach version of yourself.
Gotcha.
Is it a Peach version or is it just a sex change?
No, it's a Peach version. It's why it turned you into a princess. It is also a sex change if you're, a male. But
yeah.
And you just take off the crown and you're back to normal?
Yes.
You're
so
not
I think
fully
this
back
is what
to normal.
people who I don't know. It's what people would call the button. Have you heard of the button?
No.
Depends on the button.
So the idea is that if there was a button that you could push and become the opposite gender, so many people would do it. So they call it the button.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you push it like as many times as you want?
Yeah,
Can
just
you
push it, push it back.
Back and forth
Yep.
forever. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a way. It's like an example of how gender fluidity kind of works on an internal level, like a personal level. Because it's like, if I could push that button and turn into a woman, wouldn't I do it just to see what it's like and then push it back? But would I go through the entire process of having surgery and hormones to do it? Absolutely not. But would I push the button? Yeah, I'd push the button.
I get it.
I don't think I should have access to that button. honestly. I'm a terrible male. I would only make a worse female. I shouldn't be trusted with any gender, honestly.
I would be a disgusting woman.
I should be I should be like down. Well, how do I want to say this? I should be made non-binary because I don't deserve a gender. I misuse.
I'm such a poor example. I don't deserve either.
In a world of ones and zeros, I'm a 2.
Not even non-binary, because that's like a gender. I should just be like nothing. I should be a Ken doll. That's what I should be.
You should be a
Smooth
floating form of sentient gas.
Yeah, I just want to be like energy.
All right, so
So
to answer,
Bowser?
to answer your question, Edgar,
I'm willing to.
it's Luigi. You know Luigi would be a good dad, right?
That's so, yeah. That's
He's a
very
tender
true.
lover, dude. Wait, no, we're talking about dads. Why do I think of daddies and then I think of like lovers? God, I'm messed up, dude. Why do you ask these questions?
Blame it on Edgar. The answer is definitely Luigi, right? He's modest. He's hardworking. He lives in his brother's shadow, but he doesn't care. So, I mean, he's
Faithful.
Compassionate. It's Luigi. And I think
And he's
Luigi.
rich.
And he's rich. You know the Mario
All that
brothers
money
got
from-
money.
Yeah, all that money from the Haunted Mansion thing he did.
Oh my God. His job is to suck money out of haunted houses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, 100% Luigi.
He's the right kind of rich, too. He's not like that billionaire, out-of-touch rich. He's just rich enough to, like, provide you with what you need.
Oh, for
but
sure.
Still pay attention.
Yeah.
To you. He's a good choice. I like it.
All right. Well, there you go. Edgar in PR. Next question is from Danielle from the internet. She asked, which game would you like to see a VR version of?
Black and white. 100% black and white. I've been thinking about this for my entire life.
Is that the God game?
Yep. The God game. You have the animal that's like your God pet. You got the villagers. You pick up grain and you put it in your thing and you wage war and you draw spells and you throw them. Black and white would be... They need to make a remake, if not a VR remake. But yes, black and white is the answer.
There's so many good answers for this. I'm going to throw out The Sims.
Oh.
Whatever the next Sims game is in VR. Because that would be wild. I mean, you try to jump into VR to like live another life, a new experience, and I don't want to get messed up in Second Life again. At least not in any, not any legitimate way. So I'm going to say The Sims would be like.
Are you thinking a top-down The Sims, or are you thinking you are one of your characters?
Ooh,
I think you should have the ability to go into both.
I agree.
Yeah, I would only use. I love first person. I would only use the first person on it, but yeah, maybe more that view, that black and white view where you get to play God.
Yeah, pick people up, move them around, do the thing. But I'm thinking about like, hey, my sim needs to play guitar. Like you actually have to strum to get the experience.
Yeah.
Oh, you would actually have to do
cook.
the work.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
you need
yeah.
to go pee. You have to lift up.
Oh, that's a great
toilet
idea.
seat, go shower, brush your teeth, the whole 9 yards.
See, but then I'd be bad at the game. Because then I'm just like living my life and I don't do any of that shit anyways.
But would you do it in a video game? Oh, that's a very interesting, almost philosophical question, isn't it? Would you spend time to hone your skills in a digital world while not being that kind of person in real life?
Oh, geez.
I think the closer it gets to being realistic, the more my answer would be yes. Because then, if it's realistic enough, then your skills are being honed in real life too.
Well, with current technology, you know, you'd be waving your hand back and forth for half an hour.
Yep.
Like,
The only reason my sim like has a good job is because I have to click a few buttons and he has a good job. If I had to actually like go to interviews and stuff, my sim would be just scarily close to how my life is.
You have
just
to
wouldn't.
You have to drive in your sim car to work. You have to act that out. You have to go into your job and spend 8 hours doing like boardroom presentations, only to go home and find your wife like dead in the pool because you forgot to put a ladder in there. Like,
How traumatizing would those events be? Yeah, if they made it like that, I might as well just like better my life. Like, you know.
It could be fun, though, depending on how they do it. Like, if they did a mashup with, what's that game? Job Simulator.
Mhm.
So like you go to work and then it's like Job Simulator made a Sims level kind of. That would be kind of neat.
So make the jobs wacky and fun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's a movie like that called, I think, like The Gamer and such, which kind of plays with the idea of giving people unlimited access to virtual worlds and whatnot. I only saw the poster, so I may not remember the plot right, but it's something like that. And the idea of giving people the ability to live out a whole life, and I think the addition of virtual reality, I think that's a slippery slope. I think we should avoid that. I feel like people like to take the path of least resistance, and just living a game version of their own life would just, I think that would take some people over.
It definitely could.
I think it's too dangerous.
If the game is involved enough. I mean, we already see it in, MMOs like WoW. Like in the early days of WoW, that's when they started making like documentaries about video game addiction, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's a truly thing. But speaking of wishing that you were in a game world more than the real world, my VR game of choice would be akin to something like Stardew Valley or Harvest Moon, something like that, where I could just take care of a VR farm. I could slowly walk around and water my turnips and ride my VR horse and chat with the town and fight VR monsters and then have to sleep for 8 real VR hours. I think that would be great.
I think VR is actually underestimated for that ability, because there was a few apps that I downloaded for VR that were just for relaxing. Like they put you on a beach in a chair, or one of them was really good. It was in a cabin in the middle of the woods during a rainy night with a wall, with a ceiling to, floor to ceiling window. And I had a hard day at work one day, and I came home and I was poking around, and so I opened that and I just kind of sat in front of that window with the rain pouring on it, and man, like it worked. It was pure meditation. So like the idea of a Stardew game where you just decompress, where you just kind of take care of menial stuff and enjoy the environment, I think that could actually do really well. I think that's a great idea.
All right, Danielle from the internet, there you have it. And it looks like that's it for listener questions.
Awesome. Now, before we move on, we here at Head to Head, a video game podcast, don't believe ourselves to be the end-all be-all when it comes to passing judgment on video game battles. We are just 3 guys with a passion for video games and implied violence. So, we'd like to extend the gavel to you, trusty listener, to help weigh in on what we call the Audience Head to Head. The Audience Head to Head is brought to you by Jorts. They're the worst of both worlds. Last episode, we asked, which game had the better romance subplots, Stardew Valley or Mass Effect? The battle was very close, but Mass Effect took it with about 60% of the votes. So congrats, Mass Effect. You flirt.
Oh,
shit.
Yeah. No, yeah. Mass
Congrats,
Effect
Mass
getting
Effect.
more
You
attention.
you dirty Mass Effect.
I think that was weighted. I think more people have played Mass Effect than Stardew Valley, but
I think so too.
I agree.
I mean, it took it. It earned it. I don't want to take its trophy away.
I also would agree. It's Mass Effect, though.
Well, Jake, you weigh in on this because you are big into both. And I think you'd be an expert at both. What's your thought now that the battle's over?
Am I allowed to? This one's for the audience, man.
It's done and buried.
All right.
You can give your opinion.
I mean, so it's a bit of an unfair advantage too. Mass Effect is more, it's a more popular game. I think a lot of people were thinking about all 3 games put together too, which I don't know if that's how you framed it or not, if it was just Mass Effect 1 or the Mass Effect trilogy. But I would say if we were comparing Stardew Valley to just Mass Effect 1, I think Stardew Valley would take it. Because compared to Mass Effect 1, Stardew Valley had more romance options. There were more romance scenes and things that happened. It developed more naturally. In Mass Effect 1, it was dialogue options, and then you would say something a little supportive, and then the character would smile at you like, oh, I'm going to get that. Like, Mass Effect 1 was like that. They developed it a lot better later in the series. So it depends on how you are, I guess, viewing the question.
Yeah.
I think Mass Effect won because of Shepard's dancing
Oh,
in the club scenes. That's highly erotic, so I think that like
the Shepherd Shuffle gets it going.
Shuffle.
The Shepherd Shuffle gets it going every time.
How can you not have romance in mind when you start to see the Shepherd Shuffle? Shepherd.
Rex.
All right, Shepard.
Rex.
So for this episode's audience head-to-head, we're going to ask, which game has the more convoluted plot? The game where owning a box makes you a master of disguise and nanomachines are the cause and solution to all of life's problems? Metal Gear Solid. Or is it the game so goofy it makes me sore? I don't mean to be heartless, but nobody... Fuck. Yeah, I'm talking about Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts, everybody.
Oh, shit. So,
You can reply to this episode's post on Twitter, or you can message us directly with who you think wins this battle to help us decide the results.
awesome. Metal Gear Solid or Kingdom Hearts for the most convoluted plot, was it?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah, it's definitely, those are some really tough contenders. I think I'm excited to hear what people say.
And I think they both have legions of fans that are diehard backers, so I think it'll be a solid battle. So guys, the boss is calling us right now.
What? I thought he was on vacation.
Yeah, man, he's gone. Dude.
Yeah, I thought so too, but it's this little thing. It has his picture and then like an old rotary phone next to it, and I think that means a call. I'm not sure. It says video.
A video call? All right, everybody act natural.
It's ringing a lot. I'm going to answer it. Here we go. Okay.
All right, so it's going to be a full-body hologram or just a floating head? A video call? How am I supposed to strike fear into the hearts of my subordinates, showing up on just a teeny tiny little screen? Oh, God, it's useless, huh? All of you, damn it. I bet Bezos doesn't. But he has full-body holograms. Whatever, fine. Start the call. And throw yourself down a lobby stairwell or something. I don't care. What do you mean it's already started? Oh, God. Listen up, you numbskulls. I'm out here in Dallas, the premier vacation destination, trying to enjoy my tax-exempt penthouse suite and business expense bottles of Cristal. And I catch word, you teen-bodied troglodytes might be slacking off. It's unacceptable. Yasmin tells me you heard laughing through the door. Laughing! The only thing he should be hearing is the chaos of battle, the dying breaths of defeated games, and the lamentation of the women. What's all this I'm hearing about you guys playing party games to have fun? Party games are only for bringing your friends closer together so that you can crush them all in one fell swoop. I had you set up this battle royale, not for fun, but to cause 4 times the aggravation, 4 times more humiliation, but most of all, 4 times the carnage, in this ultimate battle for video game dominance. Now get to the showdown. Oh, don't forget the ad. I need money to fund construction on the robots. I'm having to replace you now.
Well, that went pretty awful. But he's right. Let's go ahead and get to the showdown. But before we do, let's hear a quick word from our sponsor.
Head to Head, a video game podcast, is brought to you by Procision Hygienics. Have you ever thought to yourself, my toothbrush just doesn't excite me anymore? Procision Hygienics has you covered. Procision Hygienics has announced their new Mouthmaster Mark IV electric toothbrush that features 7 speeds, a titanium brush head, 50cc motor, 4 internal speakers and subwoofer, XM radio subscription, voice command integration, programmable safe word, flavor dispenser, haptic feedback, Corinthian leather handle, and a discreet, lead-lined carrying case that makes traveling overseas a breeze. I myself just received my Mouthmaster Mark IV, and I can't begin to describe just how much I love its ergonomic design and creamy mouthfeel. Right now, Head to Head, a video game podcast listeners can receive 10% off their first order, along with a 3-month supply of Procision Hygienics patented Weekend in Amsterdam flavored toothpaste by using offer code BrushMeDaddy at checkout. Procision Hygienics, taking oral hygiene to the limit. If the thought of extreme oral hygiene makes you horny for ad partnerships with a video game podcast, this ad is for you. Our listeners would love to know where to get their next oral hygiene product, if you catch my drift.
Welcome back, everybody. Now, before we begin today's battle, we decided to bring on a guest because we needed a fourth person for our LAN party, our all-day LAN party we've been having in lieu of the boss being here. We decided to bring him on as a fourth judge. And I know that doesn't make any sense, but fuck it, you know? Who's running this podcast?
Don't let the boss hear that.
Oh, right. Nobody's running this podcast. We're doing our jobs today. Anyways, here's Hayden from IT. Hayden.
Yeah, hey, thanks for letting me play in your guys' LAN party today, guys.
Yeah, it was fun.
Sure did.
It was a great time.
Sorry it took me so long to help get it set up.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming out, setting everything up. Like it was great. I couldn't tell the difference between HDMI and VGA. Well, I do, but I just didn't want to do it, and you're here, so
Yeah. No.
Anyway,
those can be a bitch.
Yeah, setting up this podcast is hard enough.
yeah, I'm more of a just show up and start talking, start playing. So I'm glad that you are a resource we can utilize.
Hey, in IT, you work with Luke, right?
Oh yeah. I don't know. I think he tends to get off on teaching me as little about your guys' network as possible. So still learning.
Yeah, that's a weird dude.
How long you been here, dude?
Oh man, every day feels kind of like Groundhog's Day. I think a little bit over a year.
Holy shit.
Yeah, he must have been here since the beginning then. He's one of the OGs.
I've never seen you around, dude.
Yeah.
Jake, that's rude.
Wait, is it? I'm sorry.
IT is not vampires to be locked away in a closet. They're people, too.
IT
No,
isn't
that's-
Vlad.
That's basically what it is.
You're people, too, though, right? Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Of course he's people. What else would he be?
I don't know. This is a weird place. He could be anything. I'm just glad he's one of us. That's all.
I think you've been playing too many video games, eating too many Doritos, drinking too much gamer fuel.
I think you should mind your own business.
I think this
And I
vibe is
think
getting
you
real weird.
It sure is. Let's bring it back. I think we have enough there to transition.
It's the games. It's these party games. They got me in a feisty mood. You know what, JB? Why don't you tell everybody about this battle today?
All right. We have a very special battle for you today, folks. A 4-game free-for-all that is sure to delight the senses and end too graphically for daytime television. In our first battle royale, 4 games face off to see who will stand triumphant as the best party game to hate your friends to. These 4 games test the limits of your friendships by causing good old-fashioned chaos and featuring more backstabbing than World of Roguecraft. But only one can reign supreme in this week's Head-to-Head.
The first contender in tonight's matchup is Fall Guys. This is a 60-man free-for-all battle where you'll shuffle your wacky bean person across gently padded but emotionally devastating obstacle courses and waddling arenas, with each silly round shaving off the weakest of the herd like a hard Siberian winter. You'll shove, jump, and bounce your morph suit monster through a crowd of competitors to reach the ultimate crown at the summit, and feel like the king of superiority, knowing that you bested a demographic whose majority players are between the ages of 8 and 14 years old, you heartless fucking monster.
I gotta say, with Fall Guys, there's a lot of fun to be had. There's different levels you can. I think Cowboy's going to definitely talk about this, so maybe I'll hand it over to him to talk about this piece. But there's so much fun in literally just grabbing the enemies and ruining their day.
There was a fun that I had to create for myself because I have 100 people to compete with, 100 people to grief, but the core gameplay doesn't really offer that. And again, we're talking about ways to piss off your friends. So the nice thing you can do is you can grab and body block and just all around get in the way of people. And I think that is the funnest part of this game. I think that's why this is even in this. Not because I have 4 friends, but I have 100 people to aggravate. Maybe I was the only one that did that. Did you guys enjoy that part of it at all?
I didn't do that much, man. So I don't know. I feel like I'm a victim a lot in Fall Guys because when I play, I can't bring myself to be mean very much. There was one round where I grabbed someone and tossed them off in that memory game where you have to memorize where the fruit are.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, and everyone else was playing good, and I was like, this is Jake's time to shine. I'm going to do it. And I grabbed this poor dude who was just playing, and I just nudge him off, and he dies, and the round ends. And he was the only one to drop. Yes, and I was thinking the whole time, I just picked on a poor little 8-year-old. Like, I felt so fucking bad. I'm not that kind of player, man. I can't be mean to people.
Yeah, I can. It's easy. You know, and the nicest thing is when they don't really react quickly enough, you know that they haven't fully developed their nervous system and they're at least under 12. Like, that's telltale sign. That's when you can push them right off the edge.
Fully developed a nervous system?
Or whatever, dude. I don't know anatomy. You know, their mentality. Who knows? This isn't a science podcast. This is games, right?
Yeah.
But in that game, like, do you know, it seems like maybe you don't hold your friends as much. Like, you still do it to other players. Or is there times where you, like, will actually go after somebody in your party and get some enjoyment out of ruining their game?
Okay, so the on the record answer would be no way. The off the record answer is yeah. Sometimes I grab you guys and pretend like I didn't realize it was you, and sometimes you'll hear me say that. Oh, I didn't know it was you. I definitely have grabbed you guys on purpose just to fuck with you.
Do you really do that?
Yes,
Of course he does.
You fucking monster.
It's a toddler game that you can have fun with as an adult, but I have to get some, like, aggression out of it. All games are for aggression in some way.
I do have to say that on the receiving end of that, it's painful knowing that you actively care about winning while somebody in your party doesn't, because they're willing to sacrifice their own chance at victory just to also ruin yours.
Oh, yeah.
So it is brutal on the receiving end.
The only reason I don't go after you guys that much is because there's only like 3 or 4 of you. And I'm in it for the numbers. So, like, I will perch myself on the bottleneck of the obstacle course, the lane where everyone has to run through, and I just body block and shove every bit off into the goo. I'm looking for the numbers. That's the only reason why I spare you guys.
So you're just an agent of chaos. You're not even trying to play the game.
It's anybody who's become bored of that game, do this.
Yeah, but don't do it like Cowboy. So he'll do it so much that he'll lose.
I lose every time.
He'll just sit there and he won't move from his little perch and he'll just kill as many people. Granted, I watched him kill like 40 people in a row and it was hysterical. It looked like a lot of fun. But then if somebody gets past him, the game's over and he loses. And that leads to kind of one of my negatives about this game is that I don't feel like it's a multiplayer game. It's more of a massively single player.
That is
like, they did that update where we fall together. Great. But when Cowboy loses and if somebody else loses, there's 4 of us and we're like, well, let's just back out and restart. This is the first round. So more often than not, we ended up backing out because Cowboy would lose on the first round.
Oh, yeah. I definitely don't think Fall Guys is a cohesive, cooperative experience. So, I mean, any party, you're constantly trying to shuffle to make sure everyone's in the same game.
Or even competitive.
I mean, that's the whole nature of the game, though. It is a competitive game, but it's you versus 60 people, even in a party. The most cooperative it becomes is whenever you're on a map that has teams, like the soccer, the stealing eggs, things like that. In those moments, it shines as a cooperative experience, but it's not you versus your friends. It's you guys for a moment. You stop being dicks to each other, and then you work together, and then it's back to being dicks. Or actually, I mean, most of the time when we play Fall Guys together, I kind of feel lonely. It's like it's 4 of us sitting on a bus playing different Game Boy games to me. I don't know.
No, that's spot on. And what I meant by that comment was, I don't feel like I have enough impact on the people around me. I can race them, but I really, that's why I do what I do, is I want to compete against them. I guess that's different. Like, if you're running a real-life relay race, you wouldn't be allowed to punch the guy next to you running. you know? So I guess maybe it is competitive. I'm probably wrong.
I would like a big punching glove. That would be nice.
So, like, if they added some weapons to punch your friends with?
Yes. I would love that.
Power-ups. If they just did, like, Call of Duty kill streaks, I think that would be great.
Oh, man, that would shift the whole dynamic of the game.
Calling the dogs.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know how when we were getting this episode together, we talked about not deep diving into it and talking about lore and stuff like that, but me being the king of the lore, I just have to tell you that Fall Guys doesn't have any lore. It just doesn't.
I was ready, dude.
No,
I
dude,
need
the
answers.
devs made some shit up on the fly. Somebody drew a spooky skeleton inside the bean. The most went was, these guys exist to compete, blah, 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 blah. There's no lore of Fall Guys.
Are they made in a lab? Are they minions?
They poof into
Minions
existence
of
to
Jason?
compete, and then they poof out of existence. That's their lore.
They poof out of existence?
Mm-hmm. When you die in Fall Guys, you die in real life in Fall Guys.
That sounds like
it sounds like they got together and they're like, all right, we need some lore. What lore? They just exist in a game. It's just a game. And they're like, well, where are they when they're not in the game? They're never not in the game.
They don't exist.
They're just describing how a video game works with fluffy terms.
Yeah.
They come to life, you mean render. And then they leave, you mean unrender. They exist to compete. Yeah, that's why the model was built. Yeah, no, this isn't lore. This is just another way to describe gameplay.
But to keep you guys on the seat of your pants, I did look up every single game, and I might surprise you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Teaser.
So Hayden, what do you think, man? Like, do you think this is a do you think this is a good cooperative experience? Do you think this is a game that you play to hate your friends to?
I think some people maybe, but I think in the list, some other games here might stack up as just better to sort of like create feuds and things. Yeah. I mean, because that's the thing. Even when you interact like in that way with your friend, chances are you lose that round. So you're starting over. So it doesn't really create a like competitive nature in that space. I think the game would benefit from like allowing larger parties, and maybe even showing those teams in some ways, or even creating like, I don't know, like big pools of 5v5s where every game is team based, because then maybe you could have some rivalries with other real players that extend beyond one round, like we hate the blue team the whole time kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
I had an idea for a thing they could do with team games where one team is trying to complete the obstacle course and the other team is activating traps and firing cannons at them to get them to stop. If they could invent a mode like that, I think that would be amazing. So one team controls the obstacles and, has like spring-loaded stuff that launches these guys and things. I think that would re-spark my interest. So it's funny that you say that because that's something I've thought of.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see where the game goes. It's only in its second season, and a small dev team, a lot of popularity right up front that maybe they weren't expecting.
Right.
So I think it has promise, but they could also totally let their user base down in some of those areas too. So we'll just have to see.
I mean, isn't that the point? It is Fall Guys.
Yes.
Boo.
All right. So on that note, that's Fall Guys. We got a game that's fun to run around, ruin people's days, but doesn't really feel like a cooperative experience. Cowboy, what do you got next for us?
All right. The second contender in tonight's matchup is Heave. Now, this is a 4-player local co-op struggle in which you and your friends will play as something that resembles Geodude's fashionable cousin. As a head with arms only, you'll lock hands with your new best frenemies to form inhuman chains, allowing you to swing between multiple floating platforms. A simple, yet surprisingly difficult game, as you will feel only as challenged as your friends mentally are, as they fling you off cliffs and into deadly spikes, because nobody goes on 3. It's after 3, Dave. Jesus Christ.
All right, man. That's Heave Ho. It's like a sentient barrel of monkeys. Let's start with you, Hayden, man. What did you think about this game?
Well, so see, this is interesting to be in this matchup because at least my understanding when playing it, it's like you're actually all cooperating to that end goal. So I think when a player does actually decide to turn on their friends in this one, it becomes more humorous than anything. It kind of showcases like ability to take a game that wasn't meant to do something, spin it on its head, and make it that a competitive game.
I feel like these games paint me in a bad light.
I think
because
competitively you're a fucking monster. I'm just going to throw it out there.
I'm a super nice guy in real life, I think. But man, when I get into these games, I'm just like, something comes out of me. I'm like, hey, nobody's actually getting hurt. Let's hurt them. Well, so in two ways, though, I think this game can make you hate your friends. You can hate people like me, or me specifically, because of the way I play. Then you can also hate friends that just do not let go on time, who can't get like the swing down. And you feel like you can't say anything because they're trying their best, but you secretly hate them, right?
There's a huge frustration factor that comes with this game, because this game is unique in all of our contenders. You aren't necessarily working with each other. Like, more specifically, you're mostly like fighting against each other or competing against each other. Heave Ho is an outlier in that the entire game mechanic forces cooperation for better or worse. You are totally reliant on, if we're doing 4-player, like when all 4 of us played, you're dependent on every single person in that chain doing what's right at the right time for the entire level, or it all goes to shit. And then on your 30th try, trying to get that 4-man swing, people start getting frustrated, or people just say fuck it and start flinging each other off, off fucking cliffs for the next 10 minutes. There's a lot of hilarity in this game, but the frustration lies solely in getting mad at your friends because they're not good enough.
Go ahead.
Well, the game's also really tempting in the fact that you want to attempt risky plays for no reason at all.
Yep.
Like, you'll have like a 10, 20-foot gap with these floating platforms that'll give you a nice, easy path, like a walk-in-the-park path that you could take. But you got everybody on the chain, and you could nail this like a Kobe free throw, just like, boom, right in the basket. So you go for it, and you put everybody into a spike, and everybody's mad, everybody's respawning. This game's it's a huge amount of fun. I love this game. Nobody plays this without cracking up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's hilarious.
Heave Ho is a great game to play with your friends, dude. It just really is. I think Heave Ho would have a much larger player base if cooperative play was easy or intuitive or even friendly.
Yeah. I also think that a lot of people didn't get into it because it's technically a local co-op only. Obviously, with technology now, you can remote in. Steam has a remote play where you can become local by remoting in. There's a program called Parsec, but technically, this game doesn't have a right-click join, online lobby. So I think that alienated a lot of people.
I think the game has a lot of little pieces that make it just that much better. Like, it's not, the gameplay itself is nothing special, right? It's get from point A to point B, bring an item with you. That's gaming 101 basically. But there's little tiny things that you can do, like how many different character customization options there are. You can be spaghetti arms. You can be the guy from Tron. You can be Chinese dragon. Like, you can be anything, and you can mix and match all those. You can change your voice. You can do little pointer fingers, or you can grab, or both. You can charge up and explode people so they bounce off of you. And they give you a little bit of time at the end to blast people out of the goal, which would normally be a bad thing.
Just to beat
but they give you a little extra time where it doesn't actually impact the ending. So it's like the developers... They knew this was intentional.
Everything,
and they give you all
clarity.
these little pieces to just make it that much funnier.
Oh, for sure. It is a very smartly designed game. I'm going to back it up. So we never actually touched on like the aesthetics of Fall Guys. Fall Guys is pretty, lots of character customizations. Now back to Heave Ho. I think this game is super charming. artistically.
Mm-hmm.
Its art style is like that cool, rough, like a chalk drawn cartoon.
Yeah.
The characters are hilarious to listen to. That plays into cooperative as well. Like as you guys, like I wasn't there. As we play, there's buttons. There's buttons to emote. You can emote happily or angrily. So as people are fucking around, you can make your weird caveman noises at them. As you're flinging around, you're like, wee! Like,
as I chase you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I go rogue.
I think this game is from an artistic standpoint, it's super simple, but I think there's a lot of charm in it. And just the sound effects even lend into that cooperative experience for sure.
So, yeah, to add to that, just so we don't miss it, but yeah, it totally tacks onto that. Like the sound that's made when you fall out of frame.
Oh, yeah.
And then the splatter of blood paint on your friends that are just still hanging on the side of a cliff waiting for you to respawn so they can move on.
Super satisfying.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Like, even little things. So they didn't have to do this. I don't know how they even thought about it. But sometimes a giant llama will come by and fart on the screen and cover it up. Or birds will fly past and shit on you. All just adding no reason, no gameplay value. It's just hilarious.
It just does it, yeah.
These are my kind of guys that made this.
Yeah.
I think they did great.
Everything about this game really lends to a weird, wacky, dissonant experience. Even the music. The music is so weird and dissonant. I wish there was more variety. Because I know different, like, themes, like level, like, not stages, but actual levels have different music. But the music is so fucking weird and interesting. I wish there was more of it. That's just me.
No, I never really thought about these things like that you're saying about the art. It's true. There's a lot of good from it. I think even just as simple as the concept is, because it's just a game where you climb from one point to another, and the fact that can have me with tears in my eyes laughing, like I'm now realizing this game hits on all fronts. I think it's great.
Yeah. As far as like laughing there real quick. So as far as hating your friends, I think in this lineup, I've not laughed harder at any of these games than Heave, like hands down. So
yeah,
I don't know that I've ever walked away from this, like, feuding with somebody. Yeah.
Well, to be fair, there's also the kind of hating where you are laughing hysterically going, I hate you, dude. I fucking hate you. You're happy. You're having a great time. But I fucking hate you, dude.
Yeah, this is a great game. But what do you think the worst or the negatives, if you did it like a pro-con list, what would the negatives be?
I would say that like a little bit, it can get a little redundant because you can play so much of it and they vary up the levels. But at the end of the day, it's still just swinging. And sometimes you get locked into this thing where you're just 4 dudes swinging on a super efficient chain and you beat the levels easy. And I think that's what inspires me to like be adversarial, is so that we stretch it out and add some more difficulty. So maybe the gameplay concept is too simple because it can get really easy just to breeze by it once you're like perfected the 4-man chain.
That's true. It does get easy, and you hit a wall after a while too where you're like, okay, that's enough heave-ho, I'm done. And that wall comes maybe a little bit too soon. Yeah,
it's like immediate, like you're playing, you're having fun, and then out of nowhere you're just like, I'm done.
Yeah,
like this game's over now.
Yeah.
Where with the other games on our list, the game tells you when it's over, and you can choose if you want to do it again or not. But the game will be like, hey, we're done. Heave-ho doesn't. It just is infinite, practically infinite. You can play it for hours and hours and hours without ever stopping. So you stop yourself, and it's kind of interesting that it happens naturally. But yeah, I agree. It's like you hit a wall and you're like, I'm done with this. And you might not play it for a week or 2 weeks or a month but then it's always fun again when you boot it back up.
Yeah, you're saying it doesn't have focus on replayability, which I'm just realizing is, pretty dang true. The rest of these contestants do have good replayability, and they're focused on rounds and matches and having them all different each time.
Yeah, that would be Heave-ho's main struggle.
Fair. Yeah, and I said this already, but the fact that it's local co-op only, and some people won't want to make the effort to, work around that even. I think that's a problem too.
Yeah, and even though Steam makes it really easy, like you can just right click and do remote play together. Even though Steam's make it super easy, there's so much like lag that it's almost unplayable.
Yeah, that was rough sometimes. It's not as bad as some of the other games, but it's there. And on a game that requires intense timing for some of this stuff, like that can sink you real fast.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, well that's Heave Ho. It is a weird game where you swing around with friends, and it's a blast. It's hilarious, but eventually you get tired of laughing, and you get tired of swinging. And it doesn't have online co-op. Seamless.
that was yeah.
Thanks, Cowboy. And the third contender for tonight's matchup is Pummel Party. This is an up to 8-player violent Mario Party clone, but only if Mario Party took place in a blood sports arena that you could visit twice a month. Ever have Donkey Kong snag your star out from under you while you had to sit 4 spaces away dreaming about wedging an explosive eggplant up his ass and watching him hit the ceiling? You have? That's weirdly specific, but amazingly, you can actually do that in this game. So welcome your friends to the Thunderdome by beating them in a minigame, only to take the first turn and blast them in the face with both barrels.
All right, yeah, so Pummel Party, I didn't get to play this one as much as you guys, so I've only played a handful of rounds, but I gotta say for me, not being like a huge Mario Party fan, this would be what I would call the exact twist I would need to be into a Mario Party style game. Just the brutality of it. Mm-hmm. It gives you a lot of, like, again, I've only played it a little bit, but it makes me want to keep playing it to find the other brutal ways I can attack the other people I'm playing with. Yeah.
Yeah, this game makes me really competitive. I mean, not that I'm already not, but like I feel it in this. Like feuds start almost instantly. Like I think JB and Jake, just insta-feud every round. And it just lasts the entire time. It's first turn, one of you shoots the other. Oh, yeah. And then the whole time you just spend getting back at each other. Yep. It's so fun to watch.
Yeah, I'm going to reel it back with the whole, I'm not a super like mean or competitive guy. Pummel Party brings it out in me. It's so satisfying. Every weapon in your arsenal is so satisfying to just slowly turn to your friend, take out your shotgun, and just fucking blast them. And I mean, they're back. It only takes like 15 HP and they lose coins and that's it. Just like Mario Party. But it's so satisfying to fuck your friends up in... Whoa!
Way! A diving save.
It's so fun to have consensual sex with your friends. I don't know where I'm going.
No, don't lean into it. That's what she said.
I missed your smell. So it's so fun to just like blast your friends with all these weapons, man. This is the game that brings it out in me for sure.
Yeah, and the animations when you do it are great too. Just like riding the rocket and just like impaling the people on the board. Like I swear it goes up their ass. Like when you run them up with the rocket, it wedges in between the cheeks. I'm sure
it does.
No, but yeah, it's great for that. And the game has a variety of maps, all with their own little gimmick, and all the gimmicks are geared towards, fucking your friends over. So yeah, I think it's great. I think it's a great contender for this match. Jay, what do you think?
I think there is a lot to be said about this game. So I remember back in the day, Cowboy and I played, what was it, like 500 rounds of Mario Party straight?
It was in the hundreds. It was between 1 and 500.
So
and
probably the max.
Whatever the max was. Mm-hmm. And we were just like, hey, everybody had gone to bed. And we were just like, let's just play some Mario Party. And we did the max one and we completed it. We were up. Sun came up. People were leaving for work and we're still playing. And we were hating our lives the entire time. I could see us playing a bunch of rounds of this and not getting bored like that. Because there's all of the different mini games, being able to blow people up, the different looking at the different maps, like, so there's the Halloween map that has the giant demon, like trying to figure out what happens if you kill him.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of different things to do that keep it fresh on the board game aspect. Whereas Mario Party, it does have a lot of those things too, but it doesn't have the same sense of like blowing up your friends. I guess I just want Mario Party where you can blow up your friends, and that's this game.
Yeah, it doesn't have the feel.
No, it doesn't. I can attest to that directly. I don't know if you guys have, but I have it, and I've played the newest Mario Party game for the Switch, and it falls flat, man, in every aspect.
Sure does.
Like when I compare the newest Mario Party, which is a Mario title, the fucking upper echelon of everything, when I compare the newest Mario Party to Pummel Party, the almost unknown game, Pummel Party is superior in every aspect. I love how varied the mini games are as well. Every single one of them was really thought out and really well done.
And Mario Party always sounds like a good time, like in theory, but it's like the Monopoly of video game board games.
Yeah.
Because like Monopoly sounds great until you play it, and then you just hate life until, somebody bankrupts you. And then I'm not sure what thematically happens. I think you die,
Yeah, in Monopoly, if you lose, you die. Yeah.
You starve to death, I assume, or something. But yeah, Pummel Party has the right feel, because like, I don't know, it's just, it brings out like that aggression, that want to like attack your opponents and go after them, where Mario Party kind of babies it. And, Monopoly causes aggression. Mario Party causes aggression. You don't have an outlet for it.
Yep. I think that's a good point. You have all this pent-up frustration, and you can't take it out on your friends in the actual game mechanics, so you have to take it out in the living room when you flip the table over. So I think that's a good point. This is good for mental health, too.
Yeah, so satisfying. I mean, it comes back to those weapons. It's, you get mad, you slowly walk an eggplant to them, blow them the fuck up, and you're like, all right, I feel better after getting so screwed over last round.
The case in point, Jake, when you first round, I got dumpstered. So Jake was just blowing me up using lasers, shoving those kumquats, what the hell are they, eggplants up me, exploding. I'm dying. I got last place with like 3 coins and 1 trophy.
Jeez.
And the next round, it was the exact opposite. I was like, not again. And it was my goal to just make sure Jake felt the way I felt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Mario Party never feels good winning or losing to me. But like,
that's fair.
With this game, you're not supposed to feel good. It leans right into it. You need to get revenge. Don't worry about feeling good. Worry about making them feel your wrath.
Yeah, so speaking of which, I never got to experience that kind of change in the tides learning curve where I could play the game well enough to have a good round. So on the notes of the things I didn't like getting forced into the bitch cage after every single round and getting the shit kicked out of me.
Double bitch cage, man, over here.
Oh my god.
So
I was aggressively trying to punch out every single one of you that got close, but it still wasn't fair.
To be clear, what he's talking about is at the end of the game, once trophies are doled out and you pick a winner, last place at the victory screen where everybody gets to run around and have fun and celebrate the victory, last place has to sit in a cage and isn't allowed to move. And all the other contestants can run up and punch him while he's trapped in that cage.
There was not one end game screen that I wasn't in that cage for the entirety of me playing.
I never thought about that. That is so true.
See how much we're laughing? Isn't that it's great?
Isn't it fun?
It's a great feature.
Isn't it fun
Isn't
when
it
your
amazing?
friends fail?
Isn't it great to bathe in their agony?
That's a good point with Pummel Party too. It you get your screen, like the winner, you get a screen with a trophy and it's like yay, and then it transitions to the game. It's essentially the game over screen. And it allows you to run around and beat each other up. And the exact moment it transitions to that, game over screen, nobody cares who won. It only brings attention to who was in last place, which is, it really digs it in, doesn't it?
It sure does. Something else I was thinking about was it's more on the negative side. So I feel like Mario Party does do one thing a little bit better, and that is the trophies. Because of the random pool of like 50 different things you can get trophies for, you never really know who's going to win. Now, that could be a negative in its own right, because then it's like, oh, you won because you had the most blue on your shirt or something. So you get some random nonsense and you're like, I got robbed. I played a great game. Pummel Party, on the other hand, it's like, leading into the final rounds who's going to win. Even if it's a close game, you're like, oh, I know what the trophies are for. I know who did that the most. And you can call it. So it almost makes the trophy celebration pointless.
Yeah.
In a way.
You can customize it, but there is vastly few options. There's maybe like 4 options, and they have a variation of least amount of blank and most amount of blank, which is feels like the same thing, just in 2 different directions. So it doesn't matter. There's not a lot going on there. So you're right.
A point of clarification for me, because I think we only ended up playing 2 maps, but they seem to have some different objectives as well. So is every map in that, there's also like a map-specific difference, or was that just like the random jungle level that we played?
I think that was just their way of making a theme for what you call Mario Party's star. Like some maps it was a ghost, some maps it was a treasure chest. It just varies it up. It's just not always a star.
To be specific, only that one map, the jungle map, plants 3 chests, 2 dummies and 1 real one. Only the jungle one does that. All the other ones, it's the classic Mario Party style. There's stars that you got to get to.
Yeah, there are levels that do like unique hooks. Like there's the one where the water level will rise and drop, and it's like poisonous.
Yeah.
And then you have the ghosts where it has the walking ghoul that's going around that'll one-shot you like it did to me.
Yeah. The desert one also has a spin on the hazards, where like most of the maps have a hazard that just happens on that one spot. If you unleash the hazard in the desert map, it's a roving sandworm that kind of roves around and attacks people, if I'm remembering right.
I think that's right.
Yeah. So they have their little themes.
And so, I mean, let's talk about, because I guess some negatives could be approached with that. So let's talk about some of the negatives, because I think the map spaces don't really have that much variation. Mario Party does have a lot of interesting, weird things that happen all around the map, but these ones are kind of limited. You have maybe 6 to 8 different things that can happen on the map.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yep. I'll agree with you there. It's only a couple things. You set up little sabotage spaces. You get coins, or it's a hazard, or it's a level changing hazard like raising the water. I think that's it.
Yeah, and the maps are a lot smaller too, and I think that might be why they couldn't add all these crazy things. I mean, some maps are pretty big, but they're meant for like a lot of players. So I think like for instance, on a smaller map, like one of the first maps, if you had all of these different things, it would just be, well, that could be actually be fun. I was going to say it'll be insane. Like there's just all this stuff happening all the time. But I like how with the smaller maps and the less stuff, it's like I land on one of these squares. I know what's going to happen. I'm setting a trap for the next person. And when they land on that, it just feels so good. Whereas in Mario Party, you can set a trap and never have anybody land on it in 50 rounds.
Yeah.
That is really true.
And what about the mini games? Hey, Hayden, what did you think of the mini games? Better than Mario Party? Worse? Worth it?
So this might be a bad judgment just from not having played it in a while. But it kind of reminded me of like the Fusion Frenzy mini games a little bit.
Oh yeah, okay.
But yeah, I mean, they were still all new and refreshing to me, and it sounds like from when you guys talk about it that there's quite a big selection there. So does it not ever feel like you're playing the same games over and over again? Because I do feel like that plagued Mario Party. Maybe just the versions I played, which were older, but still.
I don't. If we do play them over again, because I'm thinking of the Tron one where we ride Tron bicycles and try to kill each other. The laser one where these kind of sweeping lasers come in, you got to dodge them.
The car one. Where you're playing that car game where you shoot each other and get the power-ups.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They haven't worn out their welcome yet. I mean, even if we do play the same ones, I think I've probably played all of them by now, but none of them have worn out their welcome. I don't think there's any of them that I don't look forward to. So I know that much.
I do kind of like that some of the games break a conventional mold for what the controls in that situation would be. I don't know if they do that in a lot of games, but like there was one that we played where we were in airplanes, but the joysticks were configured in a way that have never been in any flight game I've ever played. And so I think that adds, it adds like a layer of difficulty while competing with your friends that I thought was kind of fun.
I think that was an oversight by the developers.
You think they just didn't realize?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that does make that flying the planes match hard, dude. I mean, I did well, but I assume you guys had a hard time.
I mean, I won that one, so
you did technically
no
win
big
that. Yeah.
NBD, guys.
All right, what about your favorite and least favorite minigame? That could be fun.
Dude, okay, the car one is so fun to me for some reason. It's an uphill. It's like California. It's just a straight uphill with the
running up. Are you talking about running up the hill with the cascading junk pile of cars coming at you?
Yeah, they just throw an avalanche of cars down at you. You have to run up this city street and dodge these cars. For some reason, it is so fun to me because there's a lot of cars coming at you, and it's I don't know, it like gets adrenaline pumping through me. Like, oh god, I think that's my favorite. What about you, Jake?
I think my least favorite is the little RC car one, just because I'm bad at it. Every time that one comes up, I'm like, well, last place for old Jake.
It reminds me of that RC car game at the arcades where you have that tiny steering wheel.
Oh, yeah.
And you have to drive that car. I forget. It's like an old Nintendo game, too. But I'm terrible at those.
Oh, remember we tried to play that one night and we couldn't finish a lap.
It was Micro Machines. We tried to play Micro Machines. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
That's a blast from the past, by the way. Man, those aren't around anymore. Let's show our age again.
That mini game is so difficult. I always assume I lose, and then like sometimes I end up winning. I'm like, really? I guess everybody was having such a hard time with it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Aiden.
Yeah, sorry. Well, no, I mean, okay, I was just going to say that I got to a point in playing where my favorite game would have been any of them that I could win. And so my favorite game almost became the one where everyone can punch each other to knock each other out, but you're holding, it's like
the bomb or the
hot
crown?
Potato.
The bomb.
I think the hot potato one, yeah, because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm finally going to win this. And I think it was JB. I don't recall.
But my God, yeah.
Last second, he was like the last person alive and came out of a crawl space I wasn't aware of, and I wasn't able to finish whatever the task was. So
to better explain this, it's a hot potato, and you have to punch if you have the bomb, you punch another person, and you try to get them to be the last one with the bomb when it goes off. JB found a hiding spot, and none of us saw him go into it, and he hid the entire match. So when it was just him and Hayden left, Hayden was left holding the bomb, kind of panicking, asking, why isn't this ending? Why have I not won?
We thought the game glitched out. Yeah.
We really did. He had us all fooled.
I played in that scene. I was like, is it glitched?
Oh, yeah. I should have thought back to all the seedy things you said.
Yeah.
What's going on, guys?
Is he down there by the car? Bitch. Why don't you just punch? See if he's there.
Yeah. So that went from being almost my favorite game to probably my least favorite minigame. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's good. That's. I think that takes it up a notch in the rankings. The fact that it aggravated you that much.
I, for one, enjoyed that one. I think that one was my favorite, but
yeah, of course.
I'll go with a least favorite, and I would have to say the island one. So there's these little bombs that spawn, and you're in a circular island, and you can throw these bombs at other people, and the last one to touch the water wins. I'm always out first every time, no matter what I do.
Yeah, I'm not very good at that one either.
I think it's just awesome. I love that one. I always win it.
That's why you think it's
just
awesome.
Fun. I'm frantic. I grab the bombs and I just start chucking them into the water, at you guys, into the sky. I just start going. So I love it.
Well, so that was Pummel Party. Basically, your Mario Party with violence sets a great stage for tit-for-tat rivalries, great mini games, and ultimately, lowest point, I hate the bitch cage. Take it away, Cowboy, with our fourth game.
The fourth contender in tonight's matchup is Ultimate Chicken Horse. This is a competitive platformer where you and your friends construct a Rube Goldberg machine of death with live level designing, and then you see who can finish the level with all their limbs intact. You'll fight over a selection of flamethrower traps, wrecking balls, saw blades, and black holes before bitterly placing them in the most dickish way possible to ensure everyone's mutual destruction. Keep feuds ever going by modifying and destroying each other's traps after every attempt until one of you just got lucky and you're not even good at the game, Daniel. Fuck! Alright, thank you for that scathing review, Cowboy. Ultimate Chicken Horse. Ultimate Chicken Horse. The game. The video game.
The movie. The Broadway play.
J. B. What
is my name?
Think it's like 80s rap. My name is JB, and I'm here to say. And everybody was here to say in the 80s when they rapped. Just tell me what just say it. You don't need to tell me that you're here and that you're here to say it. Just say it. Just like I'm going to say, hey JB, what did you think about Ultimate Chicken Horse?
Well, I'm JB, and I'm here to say,
God damn it,
I liked Ultimate Chicken Horse. No way. No, it was good. There's a lot of interesting moments in Ultimate Chicken Horse, and I gotta say, it fulfills multiple needs for me, right? The speed running, platforming stuff is great. Like, especially if I get a perfect, like, I'm using this black hole like NASA would to like slingshot around an obstacle and land in the goal. If I can do that and nobody else can, I feel so good. But if I do that and other people do, I try to make it harder. And I guess that's just how the game works. I just explained the game mechanics.
It's equally frustrating and satisfying, for sure. Like, when you pull stuff off, you feel great, but then, like, you can just... Some of those traps, some of the levels we designed were just a slog to get through.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, for sure. But that's of our own creation, though. I would say...
That's our own fault.
So, yeah, this is what I really, really, really like about Ultimate Chicken Horse is... I feel like it's a great blend of cooperation and competition. Basically, it just hands you this palette to create levels, and of course, ultimately, it's to get to the it's to get to the end goal. But if everybody makes it, nobody gets points. So the game forces you to make it harder and harder, and of course, you start playing and you're creating these really intricate platformer levels, I guess you could say, and it really feeds into make it as hard as possible for everybody around you, and I love the creativity that comes out of this game.
I want to say, and I'm realizing this as you're talking, it has an amazing game design premise behind it. Because like you said, there is a definite push and pull between competitive and cooperative. If you make it so that nobody can make it, well, obviously nobody makes it. If you make it if everyone can make it, then everyone makes it.
Yeah.
And it's this thing that makes you find this, I don't know, homogeneous zone or this homeostasis right in the middle where it's just hard enough. Yeah, I think it's actually great for that, you know?
So one thing that I'd like to point out about the game, too, it presents ways for players at different skill levels to also interact with the map differently. So, like, some of you guys got good enough with the game to where, sure, like, you can try and mess up your friends by, you know, putting in obstacles that are going to be hard for them to face. Mm-hmm. But I was usually so bad at getting through your guys' maps that I was playing a completely separate game, which is, can I put pieces in places that don't seem as directly obvious, but allow me to finish by taking a completely different route? So it's cool because, yeah, you guys might be trying to dick each other over, and I'm just trying to get away with something.
Yeah, subterfuge or something. Like, one time you hid the jetpack spawner behind a level foreground object so we couldn't see it, and nobody noticed because you weren't making it past any of the obstacles, and so you suddenly had this jetpack that just rocketed you to the front.
Yeah, the other one I like to try and get away with if you don't get a rocket spawn is when everybody goes to grab their objects, try and get a sneaky portal grab.
Yeah.
Put that behind an object that the players can't see, and then on the last turn, just, teleport your way to victory.
Yeah, and it's funny how dynamic the game is because there is an ever-changing kind of like battle between somebody putting up a trap that you hate, so you go to destroy it, and somebody messing with the traps that you've already put down by attaching spikes to it. No round is the same because of that whole butterfly effect that goes on, and the psychology behind who you're feuding with, who you're changing traps of and stuff. Yeah, that's neat.
No, like if I was ever particularly mad at like you for winning a whole bunch, sometimes I would actually just grab the bomb and then chase your object around until the moment you place it and then blow it up immediately.
Oh, yeah.
My goal with that game was always just to get a slight lead and then make it impossible.
Yeah, you dick.
That was always my goal. Anytime I took a lead, I blocked entrances. I placed things so nobody could get through. Bees were my favorite. I placed those, and I'm like,
hate the bees.
If you want to try to get
Not
through
the
the bees,
bees.
you're dead. Good luck.
I was like Nicolas Cage with those damn bees.
Not the bees.
Not the bees! Oh, man. It's fun, though, like triggering those bees and then trying to bring them back to the other guys. Having them chase you back.
Just
trying to
kite
get
them
to hit
around.
you.
Yeah.
Kiting the bees, yeah.
So I know we never did this when we played. We played it honestly. We tried to unlock things naturally as we went. Did any of you guys ever try the cheat code that unlocked everything? Like all the levels and characters and all that?
Nope.
I did not.
So I did. My son, he's only 4. He took a liking to what the game looked like, which is it's really cute. It's this cute, cartoony perspective. The characters are actually really cool. Like the way they're drawn is super fun and cartoony. The way they're voiced, like the horse, it's a person making horse noises instead of actual horse noises. And like they do it with all the animals, and I think that's super fun. But he took a shining to it immediately, and I let him jump into character creation. Where he just built these amazing death traps and tried to make me get through them. But I mean, I digress. Let me go back. Whenever you put in the cheat code, it unlocks all of the levels and all of the creatures and customization like immediately. And there's a lot of levels that we didn't get to play that are super fun and creative. And there's more than I even thought there was. I just wanted to point out that there's a lot of really fun levels to play through, and also custom levels made by other people. And I think Ultimate Chicken Horse in that regard has a ton of replayability. Between the custom levels, between the generous amount of levels that they give you, between creating your own levels, just playing the game and creating platforms or platformer levels with your friends, I think you can get a ton of mileage out of this game.
Yeah, I'd agree. And I think it has was I seeing like retro levels? Or no, that's what you were talking about, like player-created levels or customized levels,
yeah,
right?
That's the player-created stuff.
Yeah, like basically a Mario Maker kind of situation.
Yeah.
But yeah. How did you guys feel about, because the whole thing is hinged upon whether or not the platforming is good.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
I can't tell myself. Is the platforming good, like compared to Mario, compared to the classics? Are the controls smooth?
Ooh, it's more forgiving and it's less forgiving at the same time. It's kind of hard to say. Like, so in Mario, like if you take just a classic Mario or even like Mario 64 or even the new Mario on the Switch, you have like a small jump, then a slightly longer jump, and then you have the big jump, right?
Yeah.
You are always at big jump in this game, which you feel a little bit more floaty than you would with a Mario game. But at the same time, a lot of the platforming is so precise, like a Mario Maker, that it can be just as difficult as some of those hard Mario Maker levels.
Yeah, I think what you're saying about it being forgiving makes sense, but like, so at the same time, always sprinting, that's sort of your MO. So just because you, JB, are holding down the sprint button doesn't mean there aren't obstacles by which, you know, like there is sometimes an obstacle where if you decide not to hold down the sprint while you're sliding down the wall, you can effectively get your jump out in a way that like that's the only way to actually clear that hay bale that's stuck to the side of the barn. I think your answer to that was to die, create a different obstacle via which you could sprint through.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I you know, there is some of that, but I don't think it's as like demanding as an old school platformer.
That might, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, JJ, when he lived, he was always first.
Yeah.
And if he wasn't first, he was dead.
Yeah.
Which is last, I guess. So
I would say, too, that the platforming is only as hard as you make it also.
Yeah.
So that particular level you're playing is totally dependent on how much you and your friends really want to have a bad time trying to get to that flag.
Yeah, but again, it's amazing in that you cannot ever make it too hard or too easy. The game's entire premise forces you to basically create perfect levels. Well, I wouldn't say perfect, but passable, workable levels.
Hard enough that not everyone can succeed, but not impossible.
Yeah. Well, okay, so this is all a lot of good stuff. What's it do bad?
I don't think it has enough items, really.
No,
There's
yeah.
a lot, but it's like the same stuff. A wood platform or a metal platform or a metal L platform or a wood L platform or a wood platform that falls apart when you touch it or a metal platform that falls apart when you touch it.
Yeah.
There are some cool like bombs, but then it's like big bomb, little bomb, you know, and then there's like a portal, a black hole, and some things that shoot stuff across the screen. And it's like, I wish there was more.
I can't tell you how many wood platforms I had to settle with because you guys are so much faster with reaction time getting to items.
Oh, yeah, that's not even... We haven't even touched on that. Every round starts with you in a mad grab to grab a platform or a hazard. And if you're last, it's very slim pickings.
It's wood.
It's wood.
Wood
literally. Here's some wood.
You get wood.
Yeah, and sometimes you get that really tiny one that's useless.
Here's a square.
There was subtext in that one.
Aww. Wow.
I hope not.
Now, so is this game like Heave Ho in that you have to have the friend group that you're inviting, or can you actually lobby up on this one? I don't recall. Like online, as far as like Fall Guys, you know, where you could just join some randoms.
Ah, shit. I don't remember.
Is it bad that none of us probably know?
Well, it's the entire theme of this game. We played it together. These are all games that we played cooperatively. And we never tried the online features, so I don't know.
Sexy game daddies don't need to play with randoms. We're the best in the business.
That's right. To answer your question, we're wholly unqualified for this line of work. Please don't fire us. But I don't know, man.
I think Ultimate Chicken Horse might have had an online mode. I can tell you that Heave Ho definitely does not. I have no idea about Pummel Party.
Pummel Party does, and I tried to match up earlier because I was getting a refresher just to make sure I was hot and ready like a Little Caesars for this episode. And and I did try to lobby up with randoms, and I mean, this is proof of how unknown some of these games are that we're talking about tonight. Pummel Party had exactly one public match going.
Ouch.
And I tried to join it, and there was one dude who would not ready up, so I didn't even get to play.
And I I checked the Steam stats for all these games, and Pummel Party was one of the higher ones among these little indie gems.
No kidding.
So that's surprising to me. Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, I don't think anybody plays it online. I think it's, hey, we play this with our friends, just like you would with Mario Party.
Yeah, or else, I mean, how do you get the joy from it if you're not, like, who wants to feud with a stranger?
Nah,
not me.
It totally takes the joy out of pretty much all these games. If you're not getting to, play with your friends.
Yeah, because, like, your friendship is the counterbalance to all the bullshit and the dickish stuff you do. If you don't have that, then it's just pure malice.
That's true. Like, you gotta laugh off being exploded with an eggplant. You can't just get mad at random internet strangers, or the game just doesn't work.
This game doesn't have a lot of bad.
It really doesn't. So from an artistic standpoint, I fucking love this game. Like it's so creative, and the music, it's so fun. Like there's a lot of fun in this game.
That's a really good game. Yeah.
Hayden, do you know any negatives for this game?
Well, I'm just thinking, does it ever kind of like, heave ho? So you jump into it. It doesn't have that ending, which we were talking about. So you sort of just feel done at some point. Now this game does have that. So you have like your final winner or what have you, but is it different enough that you can play it for long stints, or is this a game where, hey, let's hop on and get like 45 minutes of that in? Maybe there's a negative in that. Sure, there's a lot of variety because we're creating the levels, but there's also the limitation of objects that make you feel like you're at some point sort of playing the same game over again.
Yeah.
It does hit that same burnout as Heave Ho for me. I know that like we're cracking up, we're having a great time, but I know at some part I start to get like that lethargic kind of feeling like, all right, let's do this whole, gambit again. Let's ruin, everybody's attempt at platforming again. It does kind of wear down. I think I could agree with that.
All right, that's Ultimate Chicken Horse, an almost unlimitedly creative game that's fun to play with your friends, but suffers from a narrow tool set that can make it repetitive.
All right, well now we know what's good, what's bad, and what matters about each game. And as always, our contenders will be awarded trophies based on 3 categories: art design, game design, and the fun factor. And with those in mind, we will crown an ultimate victor for today's battle. So let's go ahead and get into the trophies here. Everybody has their phones off, emails are on Do Not Disturb, doors locked, so we should not get interrupted this time. So let's go ahead and launch into the trophies. Okay, nothing yet. And get into tonight's final winner. Damn it.
Incoming pod drop from floor 22.
Hey, Hayden, can you grab that? Can you hand it here?
Oh, yeah, sure. Here, one sec.
Cool. Thanks. Let me open it up. And would you know it? It's a segment. All right, let me unravel this here. This is this is fun. This is a segment called Modern Philosophy or Kingdom Hearts. This one's brought to you by Sentinel Pornography Disposal. Your yuck is our yum.
Yuck.
All right, so it has a couple little rules here. So you guys are going to guess if this is a quote from a philosopher or a line from Kingdom Hearts. And whoever has the most points at the end wins. There is a disclaimer that some of the lines, if they were delivered by a particularly cartoony character, may have rewritten to kind of fall more in line with a philosophical quote. Maybe they might have like erased the gihooks and things like that.
Omitted the gihooks.
They might have omitted the gihooks or added some implied words to make it sound like a quote. A philosophical quote. Okay, let's get into it, and let's keep track of your points because there's 3 of you. I'll try. Okay, so the first quote is, "Entities should not be multiplied unnecessarily."
Kingdom Hearts.
I want y'all to guess. We're going to tally who gets it right.
Philosopher. I had to think.
I'm going to go with Kingdom Hearts.
The correct answer is the philosopher William of Ockham.
Yeah, my boy Occam.
1 point for Cowboy.
Of the razor?
Yeah. Coming out with those unmultipliable entities. That's my boy.
All right. Question number 2. So far it's 1-0-0. Question number 2. I would never die for my beliefs because I might be wrong.
Oh my god. I want to say Kingdom Hearts just because I want that to be from Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, we're sticking with answer A until we feel confident. So, yeah, Kingdom Hearts.
Across the board? All right. The correct answer is Bertrand Russell.
What?
No, come
From
on.
Kingdom Hearts?
No, philosopher Bertrand Russell.
Damn it. I really wanted some Donald Duck up in here. With
All
that.
right.
I thought that was Sora.
Mm-mm.
Jeez.
Right?
All right.
I know, right? Okay. Question number 3. It doesn't matter what you wear on the outside, only the heart that beats inside of you.
Unless you're heartless, because it's Kingdom Hearts.
I'm going to say it's the Kingdom of the Hearts.
Yeah, I'm not going to defer now. Yep. Kingdom Hearts.
You guys are all right. That's Donald and Goofy. The original quote was, "It doesn't matter what you wear, only the heart that beats inside you." I can't do Goofy.
That's pretty good.
That's good.
Gosh.
That's good.
Okay, so it's 2-1-1. Cowboy's still in the lead.
Yeah, I got to. I'm just holding my fingers.
All right.
Or my toes.
Yeah, I am too.
Okay, cool. Question number 4. By ourselves, we're no one. It's when other people look at us and see someone. That's the moment we start to exist.
Jesus, man.
That's philosophy, right? I don't know. Philosopher.
Is it bad I just want these to be Kingdom Hearts?
I do.
All right, I'm going to go philosopher, though,
Yeah,
because I want to win.
philosopher as well.
Philosopher across the board?
Yeah.
Okay. That's Joshua from Kingdom Hearts.
God
Oh,
damn
come on. The philosopher himself, Josh.
All right, we have 2 more.
My God.
Okay, question number 5. Cowboy's still in the lead. Everything that exists is born for no reason, carries on living through weakness, and dies by accident.
Cowboy, since you're in the lead, why don't you go first?
Kingdom Hearts.
I'm gonna go philosopher.
I'm gonna say Mickey Kingdom Hearts specifically.
Oh, if it is Kingdom Hearts, can we get an extra point if we guess the character?
Yeah.
Or the
You know what?
philosopher.
Yeah, I'll give you an extra point. Or the philosopher. If you can guess who the quote's from, sure.
Philosopher, it's Kant.
Can't what?
Kant is a philosopher's name.
Oh.
Oh, that's cool.
I can't
hear you. I'm studying philosophy.
Let's just on the off chance. Yeah, I'll go Kingdom Hearts on that one.
Okay. The correct answer is the philosopher
Damn it.
Jean-Paul Sartre.
Oh.
Jean-Paul Sartre? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Sartre. Yeah, I can't do it. I can't do it. Okay. Last question.
All right. Wait, what's the scores?
We're tied up 2-2, and then Hayden has 1.
Yeah, that sounds right.
All right.
For all the
Buddy
stars, the bananas, the Pummel Party ghosts. A window of opportunity can open or close in the blink of an eye. It's whether or not you can jump on the chance when it arises that determines a man's fate.
I'm going to go first. I'm going to say Kingdom Hearts, and I'm going to say Sephiroth.
Ooh. That's good. I mean, I could go Kingdom Hearts 2 because I think it is, and then try to pick somebody else and hope I win that way. But I'm going to switch it up because I want to win, and I want you to lose specifically. So I'm going to say it's Philosopher, and I got to go with Kant because that's the only philosopher I know. I guess Socrates. I'm going to go with Kant.
Yeah. Philosopher. I don't have a guess at who that would be.
Okay. Drum roll, please. You don't have to add a drum roll effect. I'll do it.
Okay.
It is the philosopher.
Damn it.
I lied. It's from Kingdom Hearts. It's the character Luxord.
Who's the character?
Luxord, the bad guy.
Luxord.
Yeah.
I knew. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Good
Yeah,
job,
from Kingdom
Cowboys.
Hearts.
I'm the best.
Cowboy is today's winner of Philosophy or Kingdom Hearts, and he wins a can of beans. It was in the drop pod. I don't know.
If a can of beans is opened and no one's... wait.
No.
No, finish.
How do you
Let's go.
philosophize beans?
Let's finish that
If
thought.
a can of beans is opened and no one's around to eat it, does it create gas?
Yes.
That's why it's the magical fruit.
Because the more you conceptualize, the more you toot.
You really tainted this segment with that.
I toot,
JJ.
therefore I beans.
Are you having a stroke? What is happening to you?
Are you having a giggle?
All right, y'all. Let's.
I just picked whatever sounded dumb. I was like, man, that sounds dumb. That's Kingdom Hearts. I don't like Kingdom Hearts. I don't play it. Sorry.
Ooh, hot take.
Hot take.
All right, y'all. Let's bring this podcast home tonight. Let's get on to the trophies. So we know tonight there's 4 games, 3 trophies, but only one ultimate winner. I'll start it off with the art trophy. It's no surprise that these party games are light on world building and lore, so they have to hold their own in other ways. They have all sorts of visual charm that complements their playstyle, but none are revolutionary in that regard. There's only one party game tonight that stands out as a creative piece of work with music and sound effects, and that's Ultimate Chicken Horse. Every hazard and platform comes to life with unique sound effects, and every character comes to life with funny, real-life imitations of animals. The main menu has multiple well-orchestrated music ensembles, and every level has a unique musical accompaniment that appropriately sets the tone. For this, the art trophy goes to Ultimate Chicken Horse.
And next, I will be doing the game design trophy. Now, this was so hard because these are all underrated gems that we picked, with the exception of Fall Guys, because that's not underrated. It's actually highly rated with tons of players. But all these games kind of thrive on new ideas that are at the heart of their gameplay. There's Heave Ho's grasping mechanics, Fall Guys' floppy waddling across the stages, and Chicken Horse's live level design. And I will admit, Pummel Party does fill a much-needed outlet for the rage. It's normally built up during a party game, so that's where it does strive. However, there was only one game that never left me wanting more. So I gotta say, for its great UI, its multiplayer options, its customization, and its tons of endless features, I gotta give the game design trophy to Ultimate Chicken Horse.
And we'll wrap it all up with fun factor. All 4 games are a lot of fun to play, but each has its own serious weaknesses. Fall Guys plays like a massively single-player game. Heave Ho can get repetitive at times, and when you hit a wall. Pummel Party lacks the suspense of trying to figure out who's gonna win. And Ultimate Chicken Horse desperately needs more item options. Only one can hold the Fun Factor trophy, and a decision needs to be made. So I base this on the fact that only one of these games consistently makes me laugh so hard that I get an ab workout and a good cry in at the same time. And that's why the Fun Factor trophy goes to Heave Ho.
All right, well, those are the trophies for today's showdown, and they tell you where each game excels. But now it is time to cast our vote to find out which is the final winner for tonight's theme, Party Games to Hate Your Friends To. Taking it away with the first vote is going to be our guest, Hayden.
So even though it's the game I've played the least out of all of these, I'm going to have to go with Pummel Party, just for having that board game type feel that takes us back to, the first competitive games we played as kids, coupled with just the brutality of fighting your friends.
All right, Pummel Party. And Jake.
So I want to make it clear. I love all these games. I think we all do. We've had a ton of fun. But specifically, the game that brings it out the most for me is Pummel Party, man. I got to go with Pummel Party.
All right. Interesting. 2 votes for Pummel Party. JB, what can you tell us?
All right, this was an extremely difficult. I know I said that the last 2 times as well, but really this time it was extremely difficult to come up with an answer. All of these games do have those argument starting moments, whether it's all in jest or if it's a serious argument that's happening. 2 of these games, however, have it so built into the mechanics that it's part of it, which is Pummel Party and Ultimate Chicken Horse. So I narrowed it down to those 2. And my final vote, just because of how I feel when I'm playing the game, is going to be Ultimate Chicken Horse.
All right, that is 2 votes for Pummel Party, 1 vote for Ultimate Chicken Horse, and with me here to decide the victor or a tie, I suppose, I am going to say, for pure sake of the way I rate this, is games that I enjoy hating my friends to, and possibly also hate the most. And for me, that is, there's nothing worse than Ultimate Chicken Horse. It is constant and ever-changing hate directed towards me and from me, with the traps that they're laying, the dickish trap planting that they do. It's just, for me, it's no contest. It's going to be Ultimate Chicken Horse. And so that brings us to a 2-2 tie. So apparently picking 4 judges with 4 games was a very dumb idea, but we stuck to it. And we have a rule here. When we have a tie, we make the guest of today's show call his mother and ask her which she thinks is the best game.
All right.
Hayden?
Yeah, give me just a moment. I'll call her right now.
Oh, shit. We're really going to do this. All right. Colin Hayden's mama.
Yep, that is a firm part of the rules, which I just made up. I don't know if ringing counts as dead air.
No, this is great. It's very suspenseful.
Yeah.
It'd be great if she picked up, though, too.
I don't know what to do in the situation where she doesn't.
Hey, Mom.
What's up?
Hey, I don't know what you're doing, but it's very important that you help answer this question in the next, 30 seconds. Did you watch us play Pummel Party?
No, I did not. I didn't get to.
Okay, so Pummel Party, do you know what Mario Party is?
Loosely. I watched you guys. No, was that Pummel Party the other night where you were taking steps and...
yeah, playing mini games and stuff?
Yes.
Okay, so do you remember that or do you remember Ultimate Chicken Horse?
No.
Ultimate Chicken Horse is the one where we build the little platforms and we race to the finish. And each turn, every player can add more stuff to the platformer or to the game. More obstacles.
Nope. Sorry, don't remember.
Should I still have her pick?
Yeah.
Yes, she's on the air.
These are the rules.
She's live on the air.
Hold on.
Okay. All right. So I still understanding the concepts here. We're trying to figure out of these games, which of these party games is best to hate your friends to.
One of the 2 that tied.
Either Pummel Party or Ultimate Chicken Horse. You're the tiebreaker. The stakes could never be...
It really sounds like it's the other one you were talking about. So if you have the time to tell me about it more for a second.
We don't. You need to pick Ultimate Chicken Horse or Pummel Party.
You can also...
To hate your friends too?
Yeah.
Maybe it is Pummel Party.
And do we have our winner then?
Yes, I want to say Pummel Party.
There you have it.
Wow.
Well done.
All right, thanks.
Thank you,
Thank you
Hayden's
for your
mother.
time.
Bye, Mom.
Appreciate you. All right, well, that was the phone a mother option that we employed. And that means tonight's winner is Pummel Party.
Yay!
Pummel Party. I really wanted to see Ultimate Chicken Horse, but I will concede that Pummel Party is a great game, so it deserves it.
Can I say that I like Ultimate Chicken Horse more? You can say that. I just thought that it fit. I just thought that the Pummel Party fit the tonight's theme better. But Ultimate Chicken Horse is my favorite out of them by far. I'm just going to go ahead and say this. I know it breaks all the rules, but all these games are great. So whoever's listening, get them all, man, and play with your friends.
Yeah.
These are a great time. Every single one. You're going to have a blast. Try them all. I know Pummel Party might be king tonight, but try them all.
Yeah.
I agree.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say, if you can, again, these games are Heave Ho.
And they tasted great.
Ultimate Chicken Horse. Fall Guys, does that fall in the category? Nah, Fall Guys can get out of here.
Yeah, Fall Guys can kick rocks.
Kick rocks, Fall Guys. So Heave Ho, Pummel Party, and Ultimate Chicken Horse. These are gems with under like 1,000 players currently. Anybody listening, those numbers deserve to be higher. Get them, get 3 friends, and have a blast. I have had my sides hurt from laughing so hard at these games from our Friday nights, so I cannot recommend them enough. Bam! And we did it again. Another perfect podcast. No hiccups.
As always, the links to all our social medias can be found in the episode description as well as on our website, H2H, that's H, the number 2H, pod.com.
And always remember to hit us up for listener questions or the audience head-to-head. Best ways would be through head-to-head. Again, head, number 2, headpod@gmail.com, or hit us up on Twitter. Let us know what you're thinking. Send us some letters. Make it real weird if you want. It doesn't matter. If it's a fun question, we're going to read it.
And don't forget to tune in to this episode when it drops December 8th, which I guess you're already doing that. How does the future work?
It's like time zones or something, dude.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you're listening to this or you're from the future, send us a message warning us of whatever apocalypse happens. But do be sure to turn in to this episode that you're listening to right now on the 8th of December, which you won't know until you listen to it.
Yeah, I think we should all thank our guest expert tonight, Hayden.
Yes, thank you, Hayden.
The temp from
Hayden's
IT.
mother.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me, guys.
A special thank you to Hayden's mother for deciding the outcome. Truly the best source for video game dominance.
The MVP.
Also, thanks to Metroid Mike for the use of our theme song, I Can't Break, off of his album Heart of the Juggernaut. You can find him on Bandcamp, on Spotify, and hit him up on Twitter to say hi. That's METROYDMYK.
All right, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in to this episode, supporting us in whatever way you have, including social media, shout-outs, throwing rocks through our windows as always, and just listening to us and giving us a platform. So with that, get the fuck out of here.
Good night, everybody!
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Or morning.
Or afternoon.
All right, Yesman, I'm back from Dallas. What's going on in the office?
Everything is as it should be, sir.
Why does everyone seem so happy and relaxed?
I did my best, but I think they are excited for the holidays.
Holidays. They weren't playing any video games, were they?
No. By the way, boss, you did receive a package in the mail. It's addressed to you. Here you go.
Right now, give it. Thank you. Okay. I wonder what it is. Oh.
What is it, sir?
A Tamagotchi.
Oh no.